Even when she rode with them.
No, I think what they... I have some light. I have some light. I have some light. I have one light. Oh, why do I have some that were all... I think mine are... I have...
I got it out.
Yeah, we are recording. Sorry. How many do you have? I'll trade you all of these. I'll trade you nothing. I'll trade you this.
Sorry.
Trade you a black
So we're just about ready to get started. We are waiting for one more person who has part of the equipment we need. So we'll get started in just a few minutes.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry. If I walk this way, how many? I think we could spread out. I'll go all the way down there. Wait, you're not supposed to. I just estimate 230 people. I got it. No, absolutely not. We live here, so.
How many?
I think everyone. I didn't want to go with you.
Are you here? All right, come to the front. You have the plaque, right? All right, we're waiting.
Also, das sind die Kinder, die was sagen.
Paging Miriam. Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I'm speaking as loud as I can, so hopefully you all can hear, or at least sort of hear in the back. My name is Christy Daphnis. I'm with the Montgomery County Families for Safe Streets, and I'm here with Peter Gray, also from Montgomery County Families for Safe Streets and from WABA, and Miriam Schoenbaum from Action Committee for Transit, as well as some other members from Action Committee for Transit. We are here gathering in memory of Sarah. Unfortunately, Sarah was killed here in this bike lane. And we want to raise awareness of the dangers that are here on our Montgomery County streets and on our state highways here in the state of Maryland, so that this doesn't have to happen again. So just so you know what we're going to go through in the program here, we are going to turn the microphone over to Sarah's family. They're going to say a few words, and then we're going to install a ghost bike here at the site of Sarah's untimely passing. And then from there, hopefully ride safely back to the Metro for those of you who came on bike. First, I'd like to turn it over to Dan Langenkamp, who is Sarah's husband, to say a few words. As many words as he'd like to say.
Okay, thank you so much for coming out, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out, everyone. Yesterday, the family and the closest friends of Sarah, her sons, her father, her mother, her husband, her uncles, her aunts, her many in-laws, her best friends all came together to lay Sarah's remains to rest and fill the hole in our hearts with love. But we cannot make ourselves whole after this because Sarah is gone. I need to erase this. Sarah was shrouded yesterday for obvious reasons. I have to show you that this is her phone. We could not see her one last time. Such is the nature of bicycle crashes. I'm not calling it an accident. It was a crash. And crashes rob their families of so much more than just the individual that you know. We could only look and see Sarah, part of her. And we wept thinking about the loss of Sarah in the future that was ripped from my boys, ripped from her, and it was ripped from the world. The impact of this crash, this death, not just on me, but on so many others, is so hard to take in right now. I do not know how I will continue working as a professional and as a single dad. It's true that others do it, and I'll learn their lessons and I'll rely upon family and friends to get through. Thanks, Dolly. But our ability to march on, it does not provide an excuse. It does not make things right. It does not make what happened here okay. That will not help my boys, who will grow up without the hugs of their mom. Mother's Day for us will be another small funeral. Every school assignment that asks you to talk about what is special about you will return to this tragedy and to this site, this forlorn piece of pavement. Farah and I have shouldered some of the most difficult assignments in the U.S. Foreign Service. Working for the United States. We've worked in Haiti, we've worked in Uganda, we've worked in West Africa and Cote d'Ivoire, and we've worked in Iraq, and most recently we worked in Ukraine, where we had just returned not 1 month before. We were evacuated here in order to be safe. It is unconscionable to me that Sarah would have been safer braving airstrikes in Kyiv than on the streets of Bethesda. No U.S. diplomats have been killed in Ukraine. In fact, no U.S. diplomats have been killed this year anywhere in the world. But 3 U.S. State Department officials have died in the Washington area, all hit by vehicles. 2 have been hit on bikes. 1 was hit right here in this lane. No, 1 was hit by a car. He was a pedestrian walking. In one of the most developed, wealthiest countries in the world, she was killed on a bike lane that was supposed to be safe. So we have to ask ourselves why these accidents happen. Unsafe bike lanes, unsafe trucks, poor driver training, lack of awareness, inadequate driver education, poor driver protocols. All of those things are involved, no doubt. We have to ask ourselves if the culture in our country is allowing this to happen because we prize cars and commerce over citizen safety. Now, I understand that more than 30 bikers and pedestrians have been killed by cars and trucks alone this year in Montgomery County. That is incredible to me. And I have to ask, for I do not know, how many people have been accountable or held accountable for these deaths? We have to ask ourselves what kind of society we want to have where there might be greater accountability for parking tickets than for hitting pedestrians with vehicles. So, you know my answer. It's that we can and we must do better than this. We have to do this if we are going to realize our potential as a country. As a huge biker myself, I greatly appreciate that we have bike lanes. These have meant a lot to us over the last several years. But we have to work to make them safer. I'm not going to stop riding my bike. What I'll do instead is band together with you to create a peloton of change. I want to thank everyone for helping me channel my despair into this cause. It will not bring Sarah back. It may save lives in the future, though, so that nobody has to go through what my boys and our family are going through right now. I want to thank all of you for your support. I want to thank Peter, Miriam, Montgomery County Families for Safe Streets, Marion.
Oh, they said Peter.
Montgomery Families for Safe Streets, the Washington Area Bicycle Association, the Coalition for Truck Safety, it also came out. I want to thank Congressman Raskin, who called me on Friday, and I have a statement from him. Congressman Blumenauer and his staff, and other representatives of state and local government, Andrew Friedson from the County Council of District 1, and Mark Corman, the state delegate who is here today. I want to thank our friends at the Dutch and Ukrainian embassies who are here also. We have so much to learn from the Dutch, and I hope we can cooperate in the future. To me, there's no doubt that we can do this. Saving lives is going to be simple, as simple as riding a bike. I love the idea of riding a bike because you're getting there by your own power. You have to do it yourselves, and this is a movement that we have to do ourselves. Today we're going to put this ghost bike down, and when we do, let us think of Sarah, and let us think of our simple purpose to create a future where the streets are safe for everyone. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so Congressman Raskin reached out on Friday, and he said, offered his condolences, and he wanted to issue a statement. It is written to us. I join you in mourning the shocking loss of Sarah Langenkamp, a devoted mother, wife, daughter, and friend, a passionate and patriotic servant of our country, a champion of progress, peace, and development in Ukraine and all nations around the world, an enthusiast of the great outdoors and an active life here in Montgomery County and beyond. It is incumbent upon us to improve the safety of our roads for bicyclists and pedestrians, an urgent and important cause which, even when completed, does not reach the immensity of this loss. I send my love and sympathy to Dan and the entire Langenkamp and Debink families, and hope to work with you in the days ahead. With love, Jamie Raskin.
Thank you, Dan. Next, we're going to hear from Matthew, who's Sarah's brother.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Matthew, Sarah Langenkamp's youngest brother. I'll keep my remarks short because the outpouring of love, support, and sympathy says more about who Sarah was and the legacy she's leaving behind than I could ever put into words. We loved her so much, and the way she was taken from us is something that no family should have to experience. My wife Kelly and I, with guidance from Sarah's husband Dan, spent the last week putting together this ghost bike to honor Sarah. It has been a healing experience for us and for everyone involved. This bike was assembled to match Sarah's style, using a bike generously donated by Bikes for the World through the Washington Area Bicycle Association, tires and fenders donated by the nonprofit bike shop Gearing Up Bicycles, and seat, handlebar grips, and basket from our family members. The bike was lovingly painted by Sarah and Dan's sons, Oliver and Axel, and their nieces Louisa, Cora, and Marin, and nephews Cohen and Peter. Thank you to everyone who helped bring this ghost bike to life. Oliver remarked recently that he wished he could talk to Sarah's ghost. I wish that too, Oliver. But in the absence of her ghost, Sarah's ghost bike will be a place that we can feel close to her, talk to her, and remember the incredible person that she was. My mother and I joked the other day that to live a happy life, we should ask ourselves, what would Sarah do? It's obviously easier said than done, but one thing I know she would do is to continue riding her bicycle. For the environment, for her health, and for her happiness. I hope that everyone here continues to ride their bicycles. When you do, you honor Sarah's memory in a small but very important way. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
At this point, I'd like to ask if any of Sarah's other family members want to say a few words. If so, feel free to come up to the microphone. Okay. Want to say something, Oliver? Let me get you the microphone down here.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that since now we all have a giant hole in our hearts, if we all work together, I think, and like keep on doing what she would have done, I think we can fill in that hole with everybody else's love and support. I think we can really fill back that hole. And yeah.
Thank you, Oliver.
Okay. I don't think anyone else. So at this point, we are now going to install the ghost bike, which involves, attaching it to the pole. And what we always do at these ghost bike memorials is read a ghost bike liturgy. And that is going to be read today by Sarah's sister, Alicia.
I'm leaving my pink helmet and pink sunglasses on because that's what Sarah would do. Many roads brought us safely here to this small square of earth. We stand and ride on holy ground. We gather in grief to remember a life well lived, a life too short, possibilities unfulfilled. As we gather in grief, Holy One, hear our prayer. When we choose to take a bike instead of a car, when we choose to listen instead of shout, when we choose advocacy instead of complacency, when we choose to get curious instead of cranky, when we choose to heal a broken world instead of cursing it, when we travel past this spot, remind us of our amazing sister, mother, wife, daughter, friend, diplomat, and fellow biker, Sarah. Amen.
For those of you who are not aware, Dan also has set up a GoFundMe. You can find it on some of the news articles that you may have seen written about Sarah's death.
You can just go to GoFundMe.
Oh, great, even better. Go to GoFundMe, search for Sarah Langenkamp, and you'll find it there. Dan, I believe, intends to use the money donated to the GoFundMe to fund some bike safety advocacy efforts, and hopefully you all can contribute. If you would like more information about Montgomery County Families for Safe Streets, we do have a sign-in sheet. Please find Leah. If Leah, you could raise your hand. Over there. Sign up for more information. We will not send a ton of emails, but we will send any advocacy updates that we do have from our organization. Also check out waba.org as well as Action Committee for Transit. We are all three organizations committed to making our roads here in Montgomery County and across the state of Maryland and in the DC metro area safer for bikers, walkers, people in wheelchairs, people in cars. So thank you very much. We'll now at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Peter to say a couple of words.
Good morning, everybody. Again, thank you for coming. This is a very difficult moment for those of us who didn't even know Sarah when she was alive, much less for the people who cherished Sarah as a wonderful human being in all the aspects that she embodied in her life. I say this at every memorial that we do. We sort of have a bargain in this society that we place the highest priority on getting people in cars from point A to point B. But the part of that bargain that we don't talk about is that there inevitably will be deaths of people walking, biking, strolling, etc. We need to cut short that bargain. We need to invest in a protected bike lane on state roads like River Road or Tuckerman Lane or Old Georgetown Road, where people have died this year. These things keep happening at the same places over and over and over again. And I know that my friends, the electeds, Andrew Friedson and Mark Corman, are fully supportive of us. We as a collective need to move all of the county government, all of the state highway administration and state government towards the same idea. We will do, Dan and I were talking, we're hopefully going to do a larger ride later this fall, starting in Maryland, going down to the Capitol, going to various crash sites where people have died. We hope that you will sort of keep track of that. But for now, let us hold Sarah in our hearts. Let us have her be an inspiration for all of us just to be better people, but also to make our roads safer. And again, thank you very much for everybody. Thank you. So we're going to lock the bike up to this telephone pole. Yes, we should.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Oh, thank you. I didn't notice you. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys pop it up maybe on that's audio box. Guys, let's try not to block it.
You got it. Isn't it? Nice and shiny. And you guys did such a good job on the bike.
Stay over there and kneel down. Don't block that. Hold that, Axel. Hold this, please.
Between the seat.
Yes, I got it.
You got it?
What do you want to do around the pole?
Let's just do it now and we can fix it.
Yeah.
One or two later. Just do it.
Put
We have a ton more at home.
Oh, yeah, go through, yeah.
Is there any more stickers?
You guys stand out of the way. You guys are standing in the way of the camera.
Ollie, come here for a second.
Can you hold this, buddy?
But don't try to.
Yeah.
Go in. You should never touch.
Ollie, yeah.
Can I share something?
We do a clap. Yes. Silent prayer. Everybody, let's just have a minute of silence, please. Minute of silence. Minute of silence, please, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really, really deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.